The views and opinions expressed here on Wrestling Winedown are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organization, employer, or company. What's up, guys? It's Lo, and you are tuned in to Wrestling Winedown, a female-founded and hosted podcast dedicated to professional wrestling and our favorite adult beverage. This is a very special edition of Wrestling Winedown. This is actually our 100th episode. It is so crazy to think that we are 100 episodes in. Whether you are a day one subscriber, you've joined us recently, it has been such an amazing journey within the wrestling community, meeting new people, interacting with people online and in person, and just creating content that people enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, as well as following us on social media, interacting with us online and in person. I am just so thankful and humbled that I have this platform to share what I love, which is professional wrestling and wine. I'm definitely looking forward to more episodes. Of course, I had to bring in Iridian of the Rest Friends podcast for a special edition of Chardonnay Chisme in honor of our 100th episode. We are going to be chatting about the return of Sasha Banks, who is now known as Mercedes Moné, to New Japan Pro Wrestling. We'll also be chatting about if John Cena will be making an appearance at Wrestlemania, as well as our new segment where we sound off on some of the crazy stuff that we see in the professional wrestling world. On this inaugural sound off, we are discussing something that I have talked about on Twitter before, which is these fans that go to airports, hotels, etc. to get autographs, photos, and meet wrestlers. So grab your favorite glass of bubbly. We're going in for the 3 count. We are back with another episode of Chardonnay Chisme, and it is Wrestling Winedown's 100th episode. I feel like we need to have like some type of music or something of the sort. Do you have any tunes that you could play for us?
Interesting that you said that in 3, 2, 1. Okay, dance break over.
Wow. Thank you. That is my meditation song, Back That Ass Up. I'm not sure if everyone knows that, but a lot of people do know that. But on a serious note, 100 episodes is a lot, and I feel like I've very much spaced it out over the last couple years, but it is a milestone, and I'm very appreciative of the friendships that I've made within this community, the different people that I've come across, whether it's in person or online. It's been amazing to have this platform and be able to talk about wrestling and the things that surround wrestling. So I'm very thankful, and I will be here for as long as the people want Wrestling Winedown. I'm just so happy and excited. We have merch now. We have all different types of things going on, and I feel like we've grown beyond a podcast, and it truly makes my heart happy. My cold heart's so happy that I'm here with a glass of wine and my bestie so we can have some girl talk.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And congratulations on your 100th episode. Very, very proud of you. You have really worked so hard, and the fact that you have just been so professional, so kind, and you are really one of the most amazing content creators for wrestling, and you being a woman and my bestie, you are just so fantastic. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to, be a part of Wrestling Winedown. And like you said, you've made some amazing friendships, and this is one friendship that I'm extremely thankful for. And I love you so much. So congratulations on your 100th episode. And I can't wait for the 1,000th episode of Wrestling Winedown.
Whoa, Jesus. I mean, I can't wait for the 1,000th too, but that's how. Let me just start dropping episodes. We'll be there by the end of the year.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's dive right in. There's been a lot going on. Since the last time we had Chardonnay Chisme, we were in Dallas for a Rumble. We had an amazing time. The trip should have been sponsored by Fat Tuesdays, but it was not. I think it was a missed opportunity on their end, but there's always other times. We have Double or Nothing. We have All Out. So Fat Tuesdays, hello. Welcome to Wrestling Winedown. I am drinking wine right now, but I do enjoy your frozen beverages. matches.
Could you imagine if that weekend would have been sponsored by Fat Tuesdays? Because we know what we've experienced, right? But the public will never know. So I feel like if they would have had a camera crew follow us that one day that we went, we would be millionaires by now.
We had a humble afternoon. That's all. We had a great afternoon. We learned a lot about each other, and we learned a lot about San Antonio. We remember the Alamo because we were at the Alamo, period.
I know that's right.
Exactly. What's coming up in the near future? I'm looking forward to Wrestlemania. I think Wrestlemania is going to be amazing. It's in LA, and there's so much going on, and there's so many talented wrestlers that are going to be on all of these shows. I mean, I hope y'all have on your walking shoes because this is a lot.
Do you have your walking shoes ready to go and your club shoes? I feel like you're going to be doing so much. How many shoes are you taking?
I do not know that so far. We usually like to panic pack. We'll panic pack the night before and see how it goes. I mean, last year, you and I went to Wrestlemania together. It was quite the adventure. I mean, sun up, sundown, a show, another show, then another show, then another show, then another show. And then you get 2 hours of sleep and then you go to WrestleCon. It's like, it's not really a vacation. You are going 100% for the WrestleMania experience and you know what you're signing up for. I asked the other day on Twitter, I was like, when's the designated nap time? And people are like, you've got to be joking.
And you know what? Last year, I feel like we tried to do the naps and I think we were pretty okay, but like the naps were like 10 minutes. 50 minutes. And then we would get home so late and we're like, oh man, we got to be in WrestleCon in like 3 hours.
That was rough. That was a really rough time. But you know what? I think what made it even rougher was that we thought at the hotel that they had WrestleCon at that the Starbucks was going to be open and it wasn't.
And that really made the difference.
Like I had one eye open for like 2 hours, I believe. And then I honestly feel like I woke up when I met the Gun Club.
Oh. Yeah, that was an experience in itself.
That was the moment that woke me up. My spirit came alive to tell Austin Gunn that he should be charging more for his meet and greets. And I still stand by that. If I go to that man's table this year and he is still charging $30 for a picture.
I definitely think they had to have bumped up the prices now that they're champs. But also, we had just bumped into Casey. So that was just a fresh.
And she was like outcast in this so fresh and so clean. Let's get into wrestling news. Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné won the title at Battle of the Valley in San Jose. And this was her first match in 9 months. And she went up against Kairi Sane, who formerly wrestled in the WWE. They had an amazing match. So many people were hyped to finally see Mercedes back in the ring, and I love this for her. I am just so excited to see her perform again.
I loved her tribute to Hana Kimura. She looked amazing, and I miss Sasha so much. That you're like, oh, finally we get to see her and she looks amazing and she looks so happy. And you could just tell that this is where she wanted to be. Not only did she mention that she wanted to be in New Japan for a very long time, but WWE just happened first. But now that she's there and we've seen like behind the scenes footage and like her freaking out about Kenny Omega, which who doesn't freak out about Kenny Omega?
Can we just talk about that? That moment was so cute. Just the whole video montage itself was just very nice because in WWE, we don't see a lot of that. We get the 365, we get the 24, we get the random documentaries here and there, but that whole weekend or that lead up to her coming back and that first appearance in New Japan Pro Wrestling was something that I feel like the fans really wanted. And to see that in her eyes and to see Trinity there with her, oh, that moment was so cute. To see, her talking to Pam on the phone or Bailey, and then her saying that William Regal texted her and Triple H texted her and her emotion surrounding it. I really think it added to the experience. And then the Kenny Omega thing. She's like, Kenny Omega, what the Same. She just like me.
That made me laugh so hard because I'm like, same. That would have been my reaction. She's like, oh, like she was shook. And oh my goodness, just that fact that, you mentioned that she received those text messages that morning, William Regal and Triple H. I was like, oh my God. And that, sometimes you forget that these people are human at the end of the day, that there's solid friendships and relationships outside of like the companies, right? Sasha leaving how she left, that bond with Triple H is still there. William Regal was such a great mentor to her. Like, I'm thinking about when they gave her flowers in NXT and she was in tears. And I'm like, man, she's got to think about these moments like that, where like these are huge moments in her life and people are still supporting her. Like, I'm 1,000% behind whatever Sasha Banks does. And I feel like a lot of us are on that same boat.
I thought the wig was on point, even though in the post-match interview, she was like, she almost snatched me bald, because they were going at it. And I saw her wig slipping, but the wig looked good. I actually like this wig better than the one that she came out initially in. I felt like the purple really highlighted her skin tone, and it went very well with the ring gear. She just looked so good. She just looked beautiful. She looked beautiful the first time, but there's just something about the purple, the lilac, that just did it for me. Mercedes did it, girl. I know that's right. Anyway, Elimination Chamber did take place recently, and what a pay-per-view. I mean, there were so many defining moments. There were defining stars within that night, but the one that I want to talk about first is Montez Ford. I think so many people know that Montez is capable of being a single superstar, but he really showed up and showed out. I mean, he was the star of that match. And it's unfortunate that he was taken out the way he was, just to have Logan Paul come into the match. I understand it's a build-up. They're building him up as a heel. They want him and Seth to go at it. I get it. But I don't like that they took out Montez during Black History Month. That grinds my gears. That hurts my soul. But the ring gear, Bianca, girl, you are killing it. Like, she kills it with her gear, but like, that gear, I went through and I saw like the intricate design. I was like, damn, she can do it all.
It was so good. It was like a matte black, and that jacket looked so good. I was like, okay, Montez, I'm here for it. And like you said, he really showed up and showed out. And I feel like for a long time, people have known that Montez is a star, and that, we've been wanting him to be pushed as a singles competitor. You don't have to split up the Street Profits. You can still continue to push Montez and still have Angelo Dawkins there. But the way that he was working in this match, like, it just confirmed that he's a star. This guy's going to be a champion. I don't know when, if WWE has plans for it at all, but he's amazing. And him just hanging upside down and pushing off of the cage. How insane was that?
What workout plan are they at their home? Like, what are y'all doing? What is it? It's not P90X. It's not the Peloton.
They have to have their own thing. I don't know how they're working out, what they're eating, but it's working.
Put me on, okay? Bianca, please.
Sign me up.
Sign us up. Do we get a 2-for-1 deal? Maybe we could get a coupon deal for the podcast. I think that would be great. Honestly, if you manifest it, if you say it, like, it might happen.
Yeah.
What I do like that they did during the match, two things. So one, it was interesting that on commentary, they mentioned, like, if Montez does win this match, he has stated that the first person he'll give his title shot to is his partner, Angelo Dawkins. I thought that was sweet. Secondly, there was someone on Twitter who made a very valid point, and I will die on this hill. You do not have to bash Angelo Dawkins to praise Montez Ford. And I feel like this happens so often with tag teams, but I've seen it a lot with them. It's like, people will talk about, oh my God, Montez Ford is such an amazing star. And then they'll be like, and yeah, he teams with Angelo Dawkins. And it's like, they're both extremely talented. They both can go in the ring. Like, you don't have to bash the person's partner just to put someone else over. I've seen that, with different tag teams and stuff, but it's really bothered me with them just because we've seen their growth and we know that they're both capable. And I think a lot of people, because Montez is so high flying and energetic and out there, people are like, that Montez, like, he's better than Angelo Dawkins. And they are collectively both great wrestlers. And when they come together, they make magic. But they can also wrestle separately. So let's not bash one just to praise the other. Just saying.
1,000% agree with you on that. And it happens with a lot of tag teams. And it's like, why? I don't understand. Like, they're in a tag team for a reason. And I guess one tag team that I can compare it to is like Jeff and Matt Hardy. People love Jeff Hardy. And it's like, well, Matt is good too. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, well, F Matt Hardy and like, he's not as good and yada, yada. But like, they're a tag team and it works for a reason. So it's not just one person being a star. There's two people in that team. So Angelo is also equally talented and great. Is it his time right now? I don't think so, because Montez was up in there and he was working. So love to see that.
Let's move over to the women's match. I thought it was very interesting, and I thought it was telling that they had Carmella in the last two. Carmella recently returned. She was out for a while due to personal reasons. And to have her in the final two, I thought was telling. During Carmella's time in the WWE, she's almost reminded me of like a workhorse junior. Like she's a natty junior. Like she's dependable. She's always there. She can wrestle anyone and she gets the job done. And I think having her in that final two, instead of like Natty, who typically, is the workhorse, it showed that we should be behind Carmella and, her coming back, her returning to the company after, her hiatus. So I was excited to see that. Her gears have been so on point. Like she is rocking it. She is doing amazing with the gear. She's always had really good gear, but it's hitting lately. It's hitting. I'm very excited to see Asuka versus Bianca Belair. I know people were like, why did Rhea not pick Bianca? And it would have been such an amazing match. And I'm sure we'll get it down the line. It's a great story. You have two women who have pretty much grown up in the WWE, finally having that moment. But Asuka is on a roll. She got that dog in her, okay? And I'm ready to see it against Bianca on the grandest stage of them all.
I absolutely loved this match. I thought it had some really, really great moments. Raquel, she was picking up people and putting them through the chamber doors. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But also Carmella, yeah, I'm so glad that she's back. And the fact that she's back to her original character of being Mela is money. I'm here. Like, she is so bad. I love her. Oh my goodness. And I cannot wait for her to get another run as champ. Like, I thought she was so good and it really worked. And like you said, she's also a reliable worker like Natty. Also loved Natty. She always just puts 1,000% in here and I'm for it. We are Natty stands here on Winedown and Rest Friends and all around the world. If you're not a Natty fan, I don't know what the hell you're doing because she's fantastic. Also,
you on her payroll.
Liv Morgan. I just can't say
yes.
So many great things about Liv. She is such a fantastic wrestler. And the fact that we've been able to see her grow, also kind of grow up in the WWE, right? Like they have really been pushing her lately and just letting her shine, which I absolutely love. And her time is coming. It is so, so close. But here we are. We got Asuka, and she very much scares me sometimes.
She's scaring Bianca. She's scaring everybody.
I like it though. Like I'm here for it. Intimidation works for me.
I feel like Asuka needed this. When Asuka first came in the WWE and she was in NXT, we would always hear people chant, Asuka's gonna kill you. And she just had this energy about her. And it seemed like as she got onto the main roster, she still had that energy, but it almost seemed like she got lost in the shuffle. It's like they didn't know what to do with her. And she's had these grand moments where she was given the title from Becky Lynch when Becky announced her pregnancy. She's been in tag team. She's done so much, but I think her coming back with this character that made her who she is what we needed. And I'm really excited to see her go up against Bianca, to see her really be who she is. I mean, I think WWE might have been a little bit scared to go down that path at first, but now they realize like this is Asuka. This is what she needs to spice up her character. And I think she's doing sensational so far.
Yeah, and not saying that Asuka wasn't great before, but this is a new side of her. And sometimes this is what we need to see in a wrestler, just like a little bit of something else. And you know me, I love sparkle. So to see her come out and just a little sparkly tears, I'm like, oh my God, I live for it.
Can we talk about the telenovela that is the Bloodline? Sami Zayn, he bringing his wife into this, okay? People had not even seen his wife before. Sami has been so private, which I appreciate, by the way. I think a lot of these people or a lot of fans expect these superstars to share every waking moment of their life with us. You know, I feel like the fans almost think it's owed to us. So the fact that Sami has kept his wife and his family behind the curtain, outside of the spotlight for so long is very admirable. But now he decided to bring her in, and that's his choice. And Miss Ponytail was the star of the match. Like, let's just start there.
Wait, the fact that we were in the group chat talking about this ponytail just shows how iconic it was, because it was up there.
It was standing.
And if, speaking to all the women listening, if you've ever tried to have a ponytail and have it look fluffy and high, that's very hard to achieve. So the fact that hers was up there and like bouncing, I was like, wow, impressed.
So we saw her involved. She was in the front row, but Roman was talking his the little kids in the front row as well. And this was just such a great match. Like, I think a lot of people going in, of course, expected Roman to retain, but the fight that Sami Zayn took to Roman Reigns, there were so many close calls where you were like, oh, like, is Sami actually going to win? It was just, WWE is giving it to us. I don't know who in the back in the writer's room is watching like Days of Our Lives or Real Housewives or some type of reality TV, but they are giving it to us. Like, this is cinematic. I would watch this over Teresa on the Real Housewives of New Jersey flipping a table. If you know, you know. This is the I live for. And they're doing so good.
And you know what? After the match was over and I was able to like process everything, I wasn't even mad at how everything went down because, you know, it might have not ended how I wanted because I wanted Sami to win. But there were so many moments, like you said, that made me believe that, oh my God, they might give it to Sami. There's just no way. Like, the match was so good. And I don't think I've seen a great WWE match like this in a really long time. And this was a really, really great match. And I'm probably going to remember it till the end of the year, years to come, probably. This is going to be one of the storylines that people remember from WWE. And they're going to be like, oh, Sami and the Bloodline. It is such a good story. Very telenovela-like. The twists and turns and the refs getting knocked out and Paul Heyman and oh my God, I was losing my mind.
It was interesting that they waited so long to have Kevin Owens come out. I'm glad that he did come out because we know the history between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens is also from Canada. So to have the show in like that, I think was perfect for WWE because they were probably scared that all of the fans in Montreal were going to go out and riot because they were not happy. The arena when Roman won was quiet. Like, you could have heard a pin drop.
I was cracking up because they panned to the audience and everybody was like, they didn't know what was going on. Probably that was my face too.
Well, I mean, there were so many close calls. You're like, it's over now? What do we do?
And the fact that Kevin Owens came out at the end, I was like, Kevin, the match is over.
Where were you, Kevin?
Come on. I was like, we need 2 refs. You could have been one of them. You just find a ref jersey and put it on. You could have done it. And there was a point where Sami pinned Roman and there was no ref. And you were like, oh, I was just so frustrated. And then Jimmy and Jay. Oh my goodness. What, Jay.
Supporting actors. I tell you what.
Jay came out and I was like, what? Oh my God. And then he had the chair and he was going to hit Roman. I swear he was going to hit Roman. And then Roman was like, you're taking too long, bro. Boom. And he smacked them. And I'm telling you, the slaps, very soap opera like.
Watch out, Emmys. I think the WWE might be coming for some awards this year because they're on their game. And I'm very excited for WrestleMania. I think Cody is in his bag for this feud. Paul Heyman is working overtime. The neck brace.
He's working it. The king of working it.
I swear. Paul Heyman, good man. He's a great guy, right?
He's a great guy. Love to see him.
Speaking of WrestleMania season, John Cena is scheduled to be at an upcoming Raw in Boston. Well, from what I was reading, after he was announced, they sold a lot more tickets, which, of course, Moneymaker John Cena, Peacemaker John Cena, if he gonna do one thing, it's make some money, okay? But a lot of people are asking, what's going on here? We have assumed for 7 years that at some point, John Cena is going to face off against Austin Theory. It only makes sense. Some people seem to think that Austin Theory has a lot of similarities to a young John Cena, which I can see. I'm not the biggest fan of Austin Theory. I'm not a fan at all, to be honest with you, but I can see the similarities based on paths that they have gone down and where they're currently, at. You have Austin Theory, who is United States champion. John Cena really made it big as United States champion and then just completely went uphill from there. But a lot of people are saying, the streets are saying that John Cena is coming back to face off against Austin Theory. I mean, why else would you have John Cena on Monday Night Raw weeks before WrestleMania? He's not on there promoting anything. He's not going to come on here and share with us Experian or Honda or whatever he's on this year.
You are so funny. So I think that John Cena has something that Austin Theory doesn't have.
Seasoning.
Ruthless aggression.
That too.
So I don't know what people see in Austin Theory. I mean, I get it. The build. Think of like, John Cena when he came out against Angle and he cut that promo. I see the build. I see what they're trying to say. But John Cena just, he had seasoning. And something about Austin Theory and this gimmick, I'm just not for it. And I feel like he's really going to have to work very, very hard to come back from this image that people have painted of him.
No, that he has painted for himself.
Because Lord Jesus.
We've seen a whole lot of Austin Theory, and we've heard a whole lot about him.
A whole lot of him, okay? More than we needed to see.
Right.
And it's kind of traumatizing, honestly. But this WrestleMania match, if it happens, I need Austin Theory to lose. Because I need John Cena to tell him, like, this is not your home. Like, I don't think, you might think you're a bad one, and you're not. So... And I think that's the turning point of Austin Theory. That's where, he can officially become a character, someone that like really makes an impact in WWE after losing to John Cena. I don't think, what's a win against John Cena going to get him? He's still going to be the same character. He needs to lose and be like, oh, well, where do I go now? What's happening? Exactly. Like, we need to write this story, honestly.
But see, here's the thing as well. We see a lot of these legends, these older WWE superstars who have come in and give these younger generations the rub. Yeah. Most notably, recently was The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Yeah. And I almost wonder...
Undertaker's like 80 years old. And Bray Wyatt has a good character. John Cena is... there's just no way that you can tell me that Austin Theory is better than John Cena.
I'm not saying that. By no means am I saying that. But I'm saying that we've seen these older superstars, and I'm not meaning like ancient old. I'm meaning these superstars who are kind of at the end of their careers. Like John Cena is near the end of his career. And we see a lot of these superstars that are coming back, and they're kind of pushing the younger generation. They're putting over the younger generation. And I almost wonder if that's what John Cena is going to do here. I mean, he did it for Roman Reigns at SummerSlam here in Vegas a couple years ago. So I'm wondering if he's going to do the same thing for Austin Theory. I've also seen theories, no pun intended, that John Cena might win the title at WrestleMania from Austin Theory. We really don't know at this point, but it's not like John Cena would have the title for long. John Cena is not really an active WWE superstar anymore. This man is a movie star.
And, I'm glad that you mentioned that because John Cena is literally in the middle of filming another movie. I think it's like a biopic of someone, but...
Oh, yes, he was rocking the little plaid skirt. Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's a movie about a mime. So a man who was like really struggling. So John Cena, versatility, we love to see it. And could you imagine him as United States champ? And then in the same ring as Cody Rhodes as champ, like... There's just going to be so many good things if they choose to go in that direction. I don't know. What a mess. And also, Austin Theory is not going to be Roman Reigns if John Cena loses to him. Like, there's no way.
A lot of things to digest here. A lot of things to digest. We will see what happens when John Cena makes his scheduled appearance on an upcoming Raw in Boston. Speaking of people that we have not seen recently, Phillip Brooks, CM Punk, decided to pull up to San Jose and go to the New Japan Pro Wrestling show. Battle of the Valley, as we mentioned earlier, where Mercedes Moné wrestled for the first time in 9 months. Also on the card, you had Bobby Fish, you had Eddie Kingston, you had Jay White, who lost his match to Eddie Kingston and is no longer in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You had a lot of good matches on this card. But before the night even started, I'm on Twitter and I see people going, they're like, CM Punk is at Battle of the Valley in San Jose, and everybody's going crazy because CM Punk has been keeping a very low profile recently. Ever since the Muffin Man decided to get in a brawl backstage at All Out, he hasn't really had a public presence. We see him here and there, maybe post an Instagram story, maybe be on MMA commentary, but we have not seen him in a wrestling ring. And a lot of people are wondering, will he return to AEW? Will he not? What is next for him in the world of professional wrestling? I guess Battle of the Valley, being an attendee. And we saw a picture of him. He was with Giselle Shaw, who is a member of Impact Wrestling. We also saw him with some other people, but thing that got Righteous Reg of Grapsity posted this picture, and it shows CM Punk in his section. It's zoomed out, and you see this long line of people. And this is a part of a new segment here that is kind of like a sound off session where we're going to talk about stuff that we've seen recently online, in person, etc. And we're just going to talk about it. I feel like we could talk about it on Twitter, but there is something about hearing somebody's voice saying something that might like reach the brain, the inside of the brain a little bit better. Like it might seep in and stay. So that's kind of where we're going with this here. So that you see this long line of people. Righteous Reg said it looked like it was Comic-Con at Battle of the Valley. And people are going up to CM Punk. They're taking pictures with him. He's taking pictures with them too. Did he have his Venmo out? Was he charging people? I would assume not. He was being a nice guy. He was taking pictures, and that's very nice of him. But like, at what point do we go somewhere as wrestling fans, and when we see someone like CM Punk or anybody for that matter, when do we decide like, oh, hey, CM Punk is over there, but I'm going to sit my ass down right here in this seat that I paid $95 for and shut the fuck up and drink my beer? When do we decide as wrestling fans that we do not have to go up to these people and always take a picture, especially when they're in a setting where they might not want to be bothered?
I love this new segment.
You know what? Cheers.
Chardonnay and sound off. That's what so
fire.
Cheers to that. What the is wrong with people?
There we go.
I do not understand how people are so crazy that you have to go up to someone when they're on their personal time enjoying something, and especially if it's a wrestler watching wrestling. Do not go up to them. What the is wrong with you? You sit down and enjoy the event that you also paid for. You don't have to go and interrupt someone, especially CM Punk, who, why would you be going up to CM Punk in the first place? This man has disappointed all of us. He's been very unprofessional this whole time. I'm from Chicago. Like, the loyalty is not there. I don't understand why people who are not from Chicago are also like, CM Punk, amazing, great. Did you not watch the press conference? I know y'all watched the press conference, okay? You know what happened. So for you to go up to CM Punk and try to be like, oh, can I take a picture with you? I wish he would have knocked everyone out. Like, it just, CM Punk is known to be an like, why in that moment you were very justified to be like, no, I'm not going to take a picture with you. Go back to your seat.
This sound off was inspired by when we left Dallas. And I've briefly told this story, but I want to tell the entire story. And then I want to talk about some other instances that I've seen recently within the wrestling community that just has me so fucking puzzled. So imagine this. I'm going to lay the scene for everybody. Two podcasters.
Beautiful podcasters.
Yes. We get to the airport and we look to our right and we see a bunch of middle-aged men just gathered at the airport at 5:36 a.m. And I see Xia Li and she's entertaining them. She's taking pictures with them. And I'm kind of like, what the is going on? She was the only person I had seen at this point. So I look at Iridian and I was like, oh, that's Xia Li. And I was like, why are they all around her? So then I look further down and I see a bunch of other people standing there. They have their action figures. And when I say people, I mean men. I saw no women. Unless my eyes were closed, I saw no women. I go up to the Southwest counter line. Braun Strowman is standing in the front of me. And I'm like, it's Braun Strowman. I didn't approach this man. I didn't say anything. You know why? Because it's 5:30 in the morning. And furthermore, it doesn't matter if it was 8 o'clock at night or whatever time. This man is on his personal time. He's trying to get home. He does not owe anyone anything. And whether I'm a fan of him, whether I'm not, I was not going to talk to him. When we were in the airport, we cleared security. We're standing around. We see a bunch of other wrestlers. And at this point, I was like, oh, okay, they must leave early in the morning because they're trying to avoid a lot of these fans. We see a couple. We see Scarlett and we see Karrion Kross. I'm standing in line to get a coffee. And I see this man with his daughter plotting on how he's going to go up to these two wrestlers. Scarlett has on sunglasses. She has on a hoodie. Karrion has no type of disguise on, but you can tell they don't want to be bothered. So I look at this man and I'm kind of like confused. Like, why are you scouting with your daughter how you're going to go up to these people that clearly don't want to be bothered? So at this point, I'm like, he's not going to do it, right? And he does it. He does it. And Scarlett ends up walking away. And I think Carrion caught on because then he was like, no, it's like he just said no to the guy. And the guy was like, okay, well, have a good flight. And he didn't know what to do. And he comes back over and I'm still staring at him because I'm like, you've embarrassed yourself. You've gone up to them when it's clear. Like wrestling fans, I say this all the time. Read the room. I don't care if you're at Target, Walmart, the airport, or at your grandma's house. Read that room, and if it doesn't make sense the first time, read it again. Because if somebody has on sunglasses and a hoodie at the airport, they probably don't want to be bothered. I don't know, though. I don't know.
Oh, man. And the fact that we were literally right behind Braun Strowman. We didn't say anything. We saw Zelina Vega. We didn't say anything. We were literally walking next to and in front of Imperium. We did not say anything. And it wasn't that hard, guys. I know that a lot of you are like, oh my God, well, I have to go up. No, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. Just go about your business. It's enough for you to see them. It really is. You don't have to go up to them. You know what? But I thought it was very funny that nobody was bothering Pete Dunne. That man.
Oh, hell no.
That man was sitting down like, try me. Nobody was going up to Pete Dunne.
Nope.
Like,
I feel like some of these people, and it really bothers me as well, because I feel like they gravitate more towards the women because they think they'll be nice to me. Like, you know what they mean? Like, we understand you probably have not had contact with any women. Okay. These women, even as a woman that's not in the public eye, if a man came up to me, if a group of men came up to me, I'm going to get anxious. So you have to imagine these performers who are on TV every week, what they're wondering when you come up to them in a herd at 5:30 in the morning asking for free. Go to the meet and greet.
and poor Xia Li, because she was being nice enough to take these pictures and people just kept coming up to her and she kept saying like, okay, just one more, like just one more. And I'm like, oh man, it was just like, you even wanted to go over there and help and be like, just leave her alone.
We saw Braun Strowman damn near take a light jog to the security line because they were following him and he was in the front of us. And I remember looking at you and I was just like, what the is going on here? We hadn't even made it past security. And that's how I knew those people were at the airport willingly at 5:30 in the morning to harass people. And I remember we were at the counter and the person that was helping us, I heard someone else say, oh, he's a wrestler. Like they kept pointing out the wrestlers because these people at the airport don't know. The people that work at the airport, they don't know. They see that Rumble's in town, but they don't know who the wrestlers are unless they keep up with the company. But I mean, you kind of have to assume something when you have a group of 20 grown-ass men around another grown man, that something is going on.
And we even, Braun Strowman got lost. We saw him like walk past us a couple times because people kept chasing him. Of course, how do you know where you're going and people keep coming up to you and you're just like, oh man, like what's happening? So he was kind of also like, what? If I felt like we were in the Twilight Zone.
I've seen videos since then of people like obviously at the same airport as us, like going up to Rey Mysterio, going up to Rhea Ripley. Like, what is it? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me because to sit at your house and think, I'm going to go to the airport at 5:30 today to go and stalk WWE superstars, to take pictures with them, to get autographs to sell on eBay. You're delusional. Delulu, if you will. That's not normal. Go to bed. Period.
It's not normal. And even Britt Baker was talking about it the other day. She's like, sorry if y'all got mad that I didn't sign your stuff at the airport, but you're going to watch me tonight anyway. And you really are. What is the need to profit off of these wrestlers? And Rey Mysterio, like it's in the video that, someone published thinking that they were going to do something. No, Rey Mysterio is 1,000% justified. This guy had 4 Funko Pops that he wanted to sign. And you literally think that they weren't going to go sell them. Like there's no way. I feel like when I like to get autographs, I do like for them to be personalized. So, they can say my name. And then I feel like it's also like a way for people to like know whoever I'm having sign is that I'm not going to sell it.
Right.
Like, it just makes sense. And people will I witnessed it in the William Regal meet and greet. This man in front of me had a wagon of items. Lo, do you remember this wagon?
I very much do.
What is wrong with people? Mr. Regal, wonderful. He's a gentleman. And the fact that I just felt so bad for him because I'm like, this guy's going to have to sign action figures after action figures. And it was just like memorabilia. This guy had to have like.
But you know what? At least he made his money. At least he made his money. That's where I won't talk, because at least the guy came to an event and had him sign all of his stuff and he paid for it. Now, these people that decide that they want to go to the airport or whatever, I mean, when we showed up to San Antonio, Charlotte Flair had a bunch of people around her. I remember Mario said that. He got off the flight and everybody's surrounding her. At what point do you just kind of sit back and think, these people are normal people? How would I feel if I was at the airport and a whole mob of people came up to me asking for autographs and pictures? These people are still normal people. They're on their personal time. They are traveling to work or traveling home from work. How would you feel in this situation? I don't think anyone thinks about that. These fans that go and do this, I don't think they think that far ahead. They are being very selfish and thinking about, well, at least I'll get a picture to post on Instagram, where I could post a 5-second video on TikTok and get 1,500 views. Like, it's not worth it. You look like a psychopath. Relax. Now, I want to also talk about these people. I don't know if it's just in California or if it's just a epidemic in California that seem to think that disrespecting wrestlers is appropriate. Daniel Garcia kicked somebody a couple weeks ago because they kept with him. And then this guy kicked Speedball Mike Bailey. Girl. The man that gives golden retriever energy. One of the nicest people that I have met, not at an airport, at his merch table. You see him online, you see him in his matches, like he is such a professional, and you think, I'm going to kick this man. And I loved how he described the incident on his Twitch, because he was like, he was in danger. He was in danger. And you know what? That man, I think, was so drunk that he did not care. He did not think through it. But like, these people, whether they're sober or they're drunk, what makes you think that kicking, touching, hitting a professional wrestler is okay? And what makes you think that they aren't going to push you back?
And again, I say, what the is wrong with people? When you sent me this video, I was so mad. I was like, Mike Bailey? There's no way, especially because I feel like we have such a nice relationship with Mike Bailey from the first time that we met him, of like, it just
so nice.
So nice. And the fact that he like turned to look at us when we were shaking our hands, and he shook our hands after the event. Like, very nice, super respectful guy. He's great on Twitch. And yes, that man was in danger. What in that dude's right mind was like, yeah, let me kick Mike Bailey? Are you serious? There's no way that this guy was in. Oh my God. I was so upset. And Mike Bailey, great. The fact that he talked about this on his Twitch was, I don't even know. I watched for a little bit, and it's just like, I was so.
He described it so classy. Like he was like, I'm left-legged, and you see my left leg, and he was just so classy. But you see Daniel Garcia had enough. That's why he kept kicking the guy. And I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how these people, again, go somewhere in a public setting and think, I'm going to do this to somebody else. Why are you putting your hands, your feet, whatever, on somebody else and thinking that there are going to be no repercussions? Either A, somebody's going to kick your ass, or you're going to get kicked out of the venue.
Stop touching people.
Thank you.
Keep your hands to yourself.
We learned that in kindergarten.
Yes, Daniel Garcia justified 1,000% here for it, because sometimes you deserve it. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch anyone. And I feel like this also goes to like when wrestlers are going through the crowd. I hate when people touch them. Like, just let them go. What did you need to go run your ass over there from the Z row all the way to A to be like, oh my God, I touched somebody? What did you accomplish? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Stop touching the wrestlers.
Damn, this is a good sound off. This been lingering inside my soul. But again, in a calm manner, I will say it. These wrestlers do not owe you anything. No one owes you anything. When you see them out in public, whether they're on their personal time, going through the airport, out to eat with their family, or leaving an event, that does not give you the audacity to come up to these people and demand that they sign your 8,000 Funko Pops or take a photo with you. Go to a meet and greet. Don't show up at the airport at 5:30 and chase Braun Strowman through the Texas airport. You have more sense than that. Report to work and shut the up.
Oh, also, do you know how much does that cost? Remind us again.
It costs $0.00 to simply shut the up and stay home and shower.
And put deodorant on.
Like, think about it like this. I'm gonna simplify it even more. If you have not washed your you should have not been at that airport at 5:30, okay? If you are not flying to go somewhere, why are you at the airport? The airport is one of the most stressful places to be, and you have decided to go there willingly to get autographs. Why?
With giant posters. The giant posters. You're going up to the wrestlers. You know that the women don't have makeup on, that they're not in their best outfits, and you're not there in your best outfit either. Come on. Have some common sense.
That is the end of our sound off, and it is also the end of our 100th episode here on Wrestling Winedown. Thank you so much, Iridian, for joining me. Where can the people keep up with you on social media?
You can follow me anywhere at Rest Friends on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you are not a subscriber, definitely head over there and subscribe. And my personal pages at Iridian_Fierro.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wrestling Winedown. You can find all of our other episodes available wherever you listen to your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. We are on Twitter and Instagram at WWDCAST. We also have our official merch store, which you can find at shop.wrestlingwinedownlv.com. Let us know what you thought about this episode. What was your favorite part? Until next time, enjoy your wine and, of course, enjoy your wrestling. Cheers!